Good morning. Happy Monday. This is SJU on Fandom Entertainment. We have got a ton of great things to talk about this morning. Has Kevin Feige been phantom menacing Marvel TV all along? We're talking about the Marvel Civil War between Marvel Studios and Marvel Television. Plus, we're going to chat Jack Nicholson's Joker and get into Stranger Things Season 4 announcement and what that means for the streaming wars. Hey! So stick with us. I've got a great panel today. I have got me a Joe Starr.
Hi.
I've got me and Ed Greer. I've got me a Billy Business.
Lashana Tova.
Yes.
Happy Rosh Hashanah for all our Jewish friends out there.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well done.
Look at that. My wife taught me that this morning.
Nice.
He's practiced it 5 times in the
Yep,
studio.
because I forgot it all the way here.
You were like Ice Cube practicing lines before he goes to shoot, just pacing back and forth and saying, he left this. He left this. He left this.
He left this.
He left this.
Lashana Tova.
Behind the scenes of Three Kings. Watch it.
But seriously, do. All right, our first story, Marvel via Variety. A lot of V's there. Marvel Television, the division of Marvel Entertainment, initially making all Marvel-based TV shows under Disney, now has few announced live-action projects on the air or in the works. They're cutting down on all their stuff. Last week, Hulu pulled the plug on a planned Ghost Rider series from Marvel Television that would have starred Gabriel Luna, reprising his role as Robbie Reyes / Ghost Rider from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's a shame. He was really good.
He was really
on
good.
That Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I thought that was really fun. That was a really fun arc. And plus, I mean, look, we all love Earthquake, but sometimes I want something new and not Earthquake-centered.
You'd be nice to Quake.
I like Quake. Look, don't get me started on Quake.
It's hard out here for women who have to change their whole name, like in their mid-20s to early 30s. Like, that's got to be hard,
That
right?
has to be hard.
Yeah.
What is it that with young women and their superpowers? Like, hey, Shadowcat. I mean, Kitty Pryde. I mean, how many names
Oh, no,
she got?
she had to change
Miss
hers.
Marvel.
Yo, yeah.
Captain
Changed
Marvel.
She was
legal
like,
names.
yeah.
Jean Grey, finally, just call her name. Everyone else is like Cyclops, Wolverine, Jean. We give up.
So
No,
many
she said
names.
so many. What was her name originally in the show?
Marvel Girl.
No.
Oh, you're talking about
Quake. Like Sky. Yeah, it was Sky.
With an E.
With an E. Sky with an E, which is, I think, legally the full way you have to say that name, Sky with an E.
Sky with
then
an
she
E.
had to change it to Daisy. Then they started finally calling her Quake. Like, that's tough.
Oh,
That's a lot of stuff.
Quake, like to go from Sky to Quake it's almost from Sky to Earth. You know what I mean? It's like it's got some real Captain Planet. He's our hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of hearts, the actor once dated a Paul, so which is a weird thing that I know. So meanwhile, getting back on this train, Marvel Studios, who operate completely independently from Marvel Television, they're completely different things. They are currently working on all of the shows ever for Disney Plus, centered on the actual MCU characters: Falcon, Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye, Vision, and Scarlet Witch, with shows based on She-Hulk or Shulk, Ms. Marvel, and Moon Knight also in the works. All right, so according to multiple industry sources who spoke with Variety, the perception throughout the entertainment business is that live-action productions will mostly, if not completely, be moved away from Marvel TV, Marvel Television. That sounds weird, but that's what we're doing, which is headed by Jeff Loeb, as Kevin Feige's Marvel Studios unit is going to be ramping up production on its own projects.
They're so screwed.
Dude, people think this is like crazy, like how the infighting. Let me tell you something. I worked for TV Guide Network, and it was like Anchorman style fights with TV Guide magazine. It's like, you may think that you started this, but we perfected this. People will go to the grid on their TV instead of your stupid magazine. It happens all the time.
Yep. I mean, this has been like, I feel like this has been since the beginning.
Yeah.
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
this has been since, like, yeah, you can have a Marvel character. Enjoy Sif for an hour. Like, this has been brewing.
Poor Sif, she never made it back.
Ever.
She never made it back.
Never made it back.
Justice
Never
for
made it back.
Sif.
That, I guarantee you, that they were like, can we have Sif again? And Feige was like, no one knows where she is. We gotta tie it up in a Thor movie first.
You find her, you let us know. Well, and also, it's when they came out the box with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it was like, boom, Joss Whedon did the Avengers. We love him. Now they're doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Coulson's alive? What? And then, as I've said before, we didn't get Joss Whedon, we got Jed Whedon, and I think that kind of cooled. It's true.
All the press releases said like Jay Whedon coming. Like, son of a bitch.
And I like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it's a good show, but it didn't wind up being like the juggernaut that everyone thought it was going to be. They thought it was going to be this big behemoth of ratings because it was coming off of Avengers, and it just never really. And it also didn't help that they didn't bother to tell any of them about what was going to happen to S.H.I.E.L.D.
That was dude's plan. That was Feige's plan. His little purple groove chin and his gauntlet. He's been like, he was like, yeah, Marvel TV, get on the water slide. It's super fun. And Marvel TV was like, okay. And they got on, and then he turned off the hose when they were like halfway down. And now they're just on a plastic slide, like scooting their poor bare skin on this hot plastic slide. Like that. This has been the plan.
This is like Feige's like, you see these memes all the time or these BuzzFeed listicles. It's like the girlfriend who caught them cheating but doesn't immediately, you know, like he hated Perlmutter and slowly he was like, oh, I'm not going to just like take you out today. That's not fun for me. I'm going to play with my food first.
Oh, he's just batting him around like a cat.
But here's the thing. The reason why we were so jazzed about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I mean, it took a while to find its footing. I actually think it's a pretty decent show now.
I do too.
Once it was like, all right, this isn't going to work. But the first like season or even that first episode, we're like, oh my gosh, they're referencing the Marvel things. We're like, reference more things from the movies. And now they're like, why don't we just give you the stuff from the movies? So now it's like the identity of what Marvel TV was supposed to be, which is like, we connect. Marvel Studios is like,
we're
give
supplemental.
we're not giving you the Code Red Mountain Dew. We're giving you the actual, real, legit Coke. So it's like, yeah, you really like the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider stuff. Here's the thing with Ghost Rider. You really like that stuff. Guess what, man? There's a reason why he was only in like 4 or 5 episodes that season, and then the rest of them were like bottle episodes every single. It's expensive. And the budget that they have to do it, they just can't do a full Ghost Rider series. So it's like, maybe you're bummed hearing that news. It is for the best. There is no way that show would have.
I would have watched Rider.
It would have been terrible.
I would have watched Rider, where it's just a dude riding around.
Just on his,
I mean,
on
not
his
under
steel
Perlmutter.
horse.
Like Perlmutter counts their pens like personally. Like it's like you've had 4 pens this year.
It's defileable.
Yeah,
Everyone look under the couches. Trying to find some change.
And so one of the things we're talking about budgets is like they're saying it's roughly every episode that's going to be on Disney Plus. They are speculating that it's going to be at least 3 times as much of a budget as the Netflix, like per episode. So yeah, they're really like.
But they're always the weird thing about this whole thing was like that small budget sings with small characters. If they wanted to go ahead and do a thing for $3 million, get your Moon Knight here, get your Daredevil here. He punches 3 guys and he sits down. You know what I mean? Do that for $3 million.
Avengers are blowing up New York. They're fighting in a hallway.
Look, all the hallways that you could afford.
Right.
They could have shot right outside this door.
Yeah, I promise you though that it was like Succession. Like Lo was in the limo in the back, and he's like, "This is the first scene of the first episode of Succession. No spoilers." And he's just in the back, and he's getting pumped, and he's like, "Today's the day. Today's the day." And he's like getting into it. He's got his earbuds in, and he's like, "Today's the day, man." And he goes in, and he's like, we just signed a landmark deal with Netflix, guys. Marvel's Defenders. And he like looks over his shoulder and like Feige is like picking Disney Plus logos. And Rob's like, what's that? He's like, oh, this is just a thing. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. It's nothing.
How come everybody was already?
You're doing great.
Why was everyone already here eating croissants before I got in?
Yeah.
But
was there a meeting before the meeting?
To your point, Ed, like, I think you're right. Like, I think those small budgets, like, it helps with those small characters. Ghost Rider, to make that stupid head, as dumb as it looks, be on fire, it does cost millions. And it's not feasible. Like, that.
I mean, wasn't it going to be, well, it just seems like you'd have to go episodes without him really lighting up.
At all. Like,
You know what I
literally
mean?
at all. I've heard rumors that they were like, you can do it a handful of times in the season, not episode, season, and that's where I think a lot of the creative differences were. It's like, how are you gonna handcuff me with Ghost Rider when I can't make his head go on fire? That's like what he is.
That's his little whole Tell me one fact about Ghost Rider that you know that isn't that he's a dude on a motorcycle with a flaming head. Go, Ed.
Well, I agree with you. Honestly, I absolutely agree with you. And especially since you take a lot of the canon out with the new character to kind of establish the new thing. But it's also like, okay, without the flaming head, you have Knight Rider with a dumber car. That's literally what you have if that's how they chose to do it.
Right.
Without the flaming head. So it's like do kung fu without him doing no kung fu for like 3 episodes in a row. Just like, boy, I'm snatching pebbles all day, son. I got these pebbles.
Oh man, I'm so good at kung fu, and in 4 episodes,
Boy, in 4 episodes, I'm gonna break off 3 people.
But I promise, like, the moment Feige is like, what if I did Ghost Rider? It'll get so much, like,
Just a
everyone
money
will have a
cannon.
flaming head.
I was gonna say-
First episode, everyone's head's on fire.
And then everyone would be like, Ghost Rider's been my favorite character since I was 6 years old. I'm like, nah, bullshit. But sure. Yeah.
No, this dude, look, he's got a weird kill board, and it's got Loeb on it, crossed off. It's got Kathleen Kennedy on it, and it's like half crossed off. I guarantee Pixar's next. Like, props. I'm not even throwing shade at the dude. Props.
But
like,
you know what-
he's little fingering all of Disney.
You know what kills me though? It's like, all right, if you're gonna like take over the Disney empire, can someone do something with Indiana Jones? Can I get a cartoon? Can I get a frapping comic book? Something.
I promise you, it's somewhere on the list.
Give me something. That's the one part of Disney that no one seems to know that they still own. Did they just forget? Did they buy so
Indiana
much stuff?
Jones is his
Yeah.
Castle Black. Like, it's like a few more down the list, and
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where they're rummaging through like some of the prop department, or they're going through a thing. They're like, oh, I forgot that we owned Indiana Jones. You're
Yeah.
gonna get
Yeah.
something.
Right.
I want
knows?
something. Look, and I'm not even mad about Feige taking over things left and right. I think this TV thing was a novel approach at the time. Like the way we consume entertainment since 2008 has changed so dramatically
Because of him?
that this was inevitable.
Right.
Like Disney's whole mission, and we've seen this with Spider-Man. Get all your stuff under one roof. Stop putting it here,
Yeah.
here. Get it all under. So like, I get it. I get it a lot, and I still think Marvel TV they're gonna carve their niche out. They still have like MODOK. They still
Yep.
have The Offenders with Howard the Duck. Like they're gonna do some cool animated stuff, but live action just.
But
keep
I also
it.
like, if you were the guy at the office who doesn't do anything and is like, man, they just don't notice that I don't do anything. Start doing something.
time's
Do
up.
stuff. Yeah.
Start doing something. Because I promise you, starting next week, Perlmutter is going to be like, well, you guys aren't doing anything anymore except for
Excuse
the
me,
offenders.
I have a
Like,
stack of Howard the Duck spec scripts I would like to lay on you.
Yeah. Like,
Start setting up meetings. Start doing that thing where you're walking. Every time you walk, you better have like a coffee cup and like a bunch of files. They can be empty.
Do the
and just
George
walk
Costanza.
quickly.
Just do
after
that.
yeah, do something. Yeah, fill the fridge. That's what I do here. Like, anytime I'm like, oh, job security, I just start making sure the fridge has enough water in
Like,
it.
Joe, why are you vacuuming?
Because I'm concerned.
Well, but just to echo Joe's point one last time, the genius of having basically 5 or 6 placeholder series. They were just playing around. That was them playing around. They gave good people, for the most part, opportunity to do stuff they never did before. They honored a deal that was a landmark at the time. Just that quick. We forget how landmark that Netflix deal. That was like the Wu-Tang Clan securing solo deals for all of them in their Loud deal.
Yeah.
That was that big to have somebody go, okay, we're going to buy 5 of your properties, or we're going to license 5 of your properties, 5 straight to series right now. Let's go.
Yeah. And
Nobody
you know-
ever did that. Now we're scoffing at it like, oh, look at these goofy series.
Nah.
Well,
You know,
no, some of them
I'm
are
not saying that, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's now, but we
just
see it's a
changed.
larger
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the pawns look cool until you see the rooks and the bishops come out.
Look,
you know
not
what I mean?
everyone is Method Man. Not everyone's going to be ODB. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
some You God series and some Master Killer series, and that's tight.
deep
They're
cuts for
tight.
other people, but
Tight.
you know,
And I
it's not
also
a baby. I like it raw.
I know it's fun to like make fun of, but I also don't think it was so like they were like 2 weeks away from shooting this Ghost Rider thing. So
Yeah.
it's not like they were
God,
just like dangling it and then like never mind. Like it literally, I think it came down to like we just can't make this concept work on this amount of money. I'm saying for Ghost Rider specifically. I can't vouch
Yeah.
for every other thing. But
I do. I can't confirm it, but I just know there was. They walked in, and they were like, "What? It's canceled!" And there was just a single baseball cap like on the floor. And they were like, "Oh God, he got us!" Because he was like, "Hey, you know what? You probably can't do a solid Ghost Rider. I mean, it's that much money to do a flaming head. Maybe that's a Disney Plus project later on down the road. I mean, I'm just spitballing." All I know is that this dude's biopic is going to be amazing. His his Bohemian Rhapsody style, like he's just handing out mail on the set of Green Lantern.
I want that McDonald's story where he's just going from property to property and being like, now you're mine. Now you're mine.
Yeah. Someday I'm gonna run this town, and they're like, yeah, okay. Like whoever's playing like Ryan Reynolds, is just like, sure, kid.
But you know, there's gonna be that scene like, ain't nothing in them damn comic books. Them ain't no sacred
the wrong
text.
kid died.
And I'm sure like Avi Arad will be the villain of the antagonist of the movie.
Yeah.
Like he has to undo his mentor. That's a great biopic.
That's a great biopic.
I'm sure it's going to be
Huge.
like 90% bullshit like The Social Network.
Oh, yeah.
But it'll
Yeah.
still be-
There's going to be a cartoonist Jeff Loeb that's completely unfair. That's just like,
Right.
what is a television?
I only know from books.
Yeah, Avi Arad's gonna be like, why can't we sell everything? Sell this desk, license it to someone else, sell us to DC. Sounds like a good deal to me. It's like,
Offenders, defenders, pretenders, get them all.
Nerds, all the nerds.
I would watch a Pretenders like Marvel show just based on the movie.
so yeah, but
because-
this is unfair. This is
Finding
truly.
Feige.
Dude, yeah, this is truly unfair, though, to engineer a situation where somebody has to do
Played
stuff
by
for
Billy
$3 million.
Sorry, I gotta stop talking. No, sorry.
But
sorry, sorry.
$3 million, $3 million, and somebody comes along and goes like, "Hey, I got $10 million an episode." You're gonna jump in the $10 million car. It doesn't make you. It doesn't make you loose. It makes you smart.
Wait. Is the opposite of loose smart?
No, don't trap me with your new wokeness, okay? I'm barely awake. Don't trap me with wokeness right now. Jeez
Yeah, that's
Louise.
right. Fall into my woke trap. We are SJU on Fandom. Make sure to like and subscribe. Our first new episode of Power Levels is going to be coming out this Thursday at 10 a.m. We forced an actual physicist to do real science on some very important questions about fake stuff. And seriously, you guys, like, I loved the pilot. I thought the pilot was great, and a lot of you really liked it, and that's fantastic. This is like I am so excited for you to see what everyone here has been working on. This one is going to be Batman v Batman v Batman.
Look at that guy.
Look at how good this looks. This is amazing.
Nice.
The whole thing is just filled with quality and super good math. So make sure you watch it, tell your friends, and share it. We really appreciate it, and I think you guys are really gonna love it. Like we all got to watch it, and we were all laughing.
Yeah,
and
we decided we needed to settle the debate. Who is the best Batman, Keaton, Bale, or Affleck? And we put Spencer put real world challenges to him. We measured them all. Science has proven there is a best Batman.
It is not who you're expecting.
if you want to find out, you can watch it on Thursday.
But, props, Billy. Billy's been producing this thing. You've been dragging this thing to the finish line. Props to you.
Killing it.
Killing this. Spencer's writing on the first one was great, but in the interim, like, he has really found
voice,
his comfort zone.
I've been
I think,
telling
in his
people,
voice.
poor Spencer, because we get all the science back from the scientist, and then Spencer, it's like, okay, first we need you to learn physics, and then we need you to make physics funny. Can you just do that by like Thursday?
And I want people to really like. I still think we should do this. Like, this guy is writing actual publishable papers for us.
Yes.
We own them.
Yes.
So it's literally like handing a full like graduate thesis to Spencer and being like, now make this a funny 5-minute video.
Well, it's also hilarious too when like I get on phone calls with this guy, and here's a little spoiler, a peek ahead to one of the ones coming up. We wanted to find out how much Thanos poops if he absorbs cosmic rays, and just like the seeing like mathematical equations of like standing next to the sun that has an output of 10 billion megawatt joules, his poop of the average size of mass. I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I know you're working on literally like particle accelerators and trapping ions. Could you just tell me how much Thanos poops?
Well, I mean, this is what happens when Roth happens to walk by while you guys are discussing an episode.
Yep.
It just says, does Thanos poop?
Yep.
I'm not saying you guys have to figure that out, but I'm just... And then she just closes the door and leaves and goes about her day. She's chaos.
Smoke
She
bomb.
is chaos.
She Feige'd you. All right.
Poop on her. Thanos poop was on a board. She closes the door. Just puts
And this is why we love Roth. Oh, y'all also love Roth. Y'all love Joe. Guess what y'all get to do if you are going to New York Comic Con? You get to visit with my peoples, Joe.
Y'all.
Yo. Sorry.
Yeah, we're doing a bunch of stuff at New York Comic Con. On Thursday, I'm going to be on a panel with moderated by Brian Taylor Foster. Brian Posehn's going to be on it. A bunch of really cool people are going to be on it. It's called, I think, Role Playing a Human. It's just a panel about the impact of tabletop RPGs on our lives, careers, how we do the things. It's we're partnering with Fandom's partnering with D&D Beyond to put it on. It's going to be really, really cool. That is Thursday, October 3rd at 12:30 in room 1A21. And then the main event for us, man, Saturday night we are finally premiering our feature-length doc on Galaxy Quest. We're super stoked for this. This thing, we've been working on this thing. Roth has not slept in months. Max hasn't slept. Most of our team is just like dog tired cranking this thing through. It's finally done. I think they're doing color correction today. Yep. So that you guys can see this thing Saturday. It's not a trailer. It's not a featurette of it. It's the whole doc. We're super excited. A ton of awesome names talking about it. The cast, crew, writers, super fans. We've got, I think, Greg Berlanti is on it. Name some names for me, guys. Thank you. Lindelof's on it.
The whole cast of...
the cast is on there. Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, and then we've got a bunch of people from Star Trek talking about it, and then just a ton of really passionate super fans.
Spiner.
Spiner's on it. Like, we're really excited for you guys to see this thing. For those of you who really miss Roth on this show, you can pay that love forward by going to see this premiere, because this is the thing that she's been working on. So please give it some love. And then we'll be premiering an honest trailer. We'll be doing some fun Screen Junkie stuff.
I'm bringing some power levels.
Billy's bringing some power levels.
Some new ones that people have not even seen previews of yet.
Very cool. Dan's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Roth's going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Saturday, October 5th, 8:30 p.m. Ooh, spicy, late night. Room 1A10. Come hang out with us. It's gonna be really, really cool. We're super excited to be there. Super excited to show this stuff to you guys.
And I'm super excited that I got to see Joe figure out how late at night that was going to be live on air.
That's a long day. That's like, I got to be in my PJs and drinking my prunes by then.
Y'all should just make it a pajama jammy jam. All right. As you know, we have been doing... We have been spotlighting an organization all month. This is, I believe, the last day of the month. I didn't check. I don't remember if it's a 30th or a 31st month. But September is Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month. So all month, we have wanted to spotlight an organization dealing with that problem with a highly at-risk portion of our population. Stack Up brings veterans and citizens together through a shared love of video gaming. We've been talking Stack Up all month on the show. We thought it would be really cool for you guys to hear from them. So here with some insight into the organization from Dave Krause, their Director of Veteran Affairs. Take it away.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave Krause, the Director of Veteran Services for Stack Up. Throughout the month of September, the Screen Junkies have talked a little bit about our programs and shared some of their experiences working with us at events like San Diego Comic-Con. Now, because September is focused on mental health, they wanted to give me a couple minutes to speak with you directly about our Overwatch program. Now, Stack Up's Overwatch program provides 24/7 peer-to-peer support and crisis intervention to anybody over the age of 18 in need. Now, while most of our programs focus on active duty and veteran service members, we simply felt that this issue was too important to even take the chance of turning somebody away based on military service. So anybody is free to join our Discord server at discord.gg/stackup.org. They can drop a line into our dedicated Overwatch program channel and within minutes get connected with one of our volunteers who are trained and certified to provide peer-to-peer support. Now, these conversations will typically start in that open channel and then very quickly be moved into a private conversation, either through a private voice channel or direct messages, whichever is more comfortable for you guys. At the end of the day, our primary mission here is just to let people know that, we want to be a resource for folks in need. Stack Up's programs have always been based on mental health because we believe that gaming saves lives. And while most of our programs were focused on organic mental health through community and just engaging with folks, we realized that there was really a need for a more direct approach, something that really just kind of shouted from the rooftops, like, hey, if you're struggling and you need somebody to talk to, we're here, we care about you, and we're ready, willing, and able to listen and just kind of help you work through some stuff. And what's really been the most fascinating thing for me to see is that we do have folks that will first meet us looking for support and then go on to get trained up themselves so they can provide support to others, which we think is just the coolest thing in the world. So if you'd like to get connected with Stack Up, maybe learn more about what it is that we do, if you want to come reach out to us directly, we're all there. We pride ourselves on transparency in everything that we do. So anybody, we encourage you and welcome you to come be a part of our community. And absolutely, if you're feeling like you just need somebody to talk to, please reach out. You're not alone, and we care about you. Thank you so much for your support over this last month. Thank you to the Screen Junkies crew and to all you fans out there who are taking a moment of your time to watch this message. We appreciate you, we love you, and we hope you have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you guys for just supporting this all month. It's been really important to us to start using while we're lucky enough to have a platform, we should be using it for a little more than just talking about Batman, like a little more. And we appreciate you guys going on that journey with us. We'll be checking back in with Stack Up later on in the year, and in October working with a new organization. So that'll be super exciting, and we appreciate you guys hanging with us and supporting that and being as excited about it as we are.
Yay, thank you, Joe. So yeah, that is something that we're going to be doing. Thank you all so much for your support. Story number 2. The grease that keeps the wheels a spinning here. We're going to talk a little bit of Batman.
And now back to your regularly scheduled Batman.
Nicholson's Joker still makes us smile X. Via Fandom. With Joker opening on Friday, Fandom.com has some great psychological profiles that are running this week from licensed clinical psychologist Dr. Drea Lita Mende. Look at what we make all of these people have degrees. Yeah. They went to college. I think you go twice for things like that. Look what we make them do. So she did some programs that look back at some of the most prominent versions of the Joker. The first one's up now. It examines Jack Nicholson's iconic version of the character from Batman '89. It is a really, really good read.
It's honestly really cool. Like, I don't know why these people continue to do these nice things for us. Like, it's,
money, Joe.
Yeah, it's really, really, really cool.
I'm sorry. When you have 3 degrees and some impractical but super awesome stuff, it ain't exactly a bunch of Scrooge duck coins in your crib when you go home.
That's fair. That's totally fair. That's totally fair.
But yeah, so you can find the link in the description of the video. It is really, really cool. So Batman '89 opened 30 years ago. Nicholson's Joker is obviously like a huge part of that movie. What do you think made him work? What made him such a good villain? For me, this sounds so weird because it's the same thing that you say about like a bunch of kids who are playing soccer, but he just looks like he's having so much fun out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So here's what I realized this morning. Agree or disagree, we can movie fight about it. This Joker is midlife crisis dad Joker. That's what I have decided. This is a guy who something weird and clicked over happened. He started acting out in ways that were almost like making fun of kids in a way. Like, I feel like if my dad was this Joker, he would like put on a bunch of like Beck CDs or something and be like, "This is the rock music you listen to, huh? And just start doing like ridiculous dances and listening to Prince.
Are you saying he's crazy enough to like Prince ironically?
Yes.
That is disgusting, sir. I don't even take up for this clown. But geez Louise.
He did break up with his girlfriend to try to get with a younger woman. This does track. Starts wearing new loud suits, looking like all my uncles at the family barbecue.
Got a purple car, new friends.
I was gonna say, clearly he has a guy who can embroider Leatherman's jackets in like a day with his logo on it. That's pretty impressive.
But yeah, this is midlife crisis dad Joker, and I like him a lot.
Well, all the people with families fled, so all those like places for those little team jackets are like almost closed. They're like, "Oh, Mr. Joker, thank you for this business." Embroidering all these criminal jackets. The Joker's doing a lot for the economy of Gotham, but just doing something,
throwing away money,
doing something
fake.
Even though it's fake.
Yeah, I think I'm putting Joaquin Phoenix Joker to the side. I kind of don't count that as a Joker at all. So with our live action Jokers. I'm kind of just using like Nicholson, Ledger, Leto.
Impractical.
I kind of feel
Romero.
like Romero, sure. But I mean, for the sake of this point that I was trying to make that sounded so sound, thanks, Joe. This is the only like Joker that I feel like has like fun with what he's doing in a weird way. Like the whole point of the Joker in the comics to me is like he kills because it's funny to him. Like death and murder and mayhem and destruction is funny. And I think Ledger's was very like cerebral. Like he didn't really laugh. He didn't think it was funny. He just kind of was like very calculated.
Yeah.
Leto, I'm not sure. I always feel bad for the Leto Joker just for the fact that it's like there was nothing left to do at that point. Like all aspects of that character had kind of been done, and that script didn't lend itself to give him anything to do. So he's like, I got to pick a lane somewhere. It was the wrong one.
No, but
it was.
You have to give it up for him. He committed, and like he didn't
have to give it up. I have to.
Look, some of it you don't mail your coworkers weird stuff, but he was like he really went for you, right? Like he chose an avenue, and whether or not it worked for you, that's your mileage may vary.
Yeah, it
but
was like a gangster. It's like okay,
It's like a
get
take.
it.
You know what I mean? Like
It's a take. It's not one that most of us enjoy, but
Well, I think because it's like I think to sort of go off what you're saying, like Burton saw that this concept is ridiculous. Like it's inherently ridiculous, and like that. His Joker all his villains kind of leaned into that, but his Joker definitely did. Like he was still sort of connected to that, like ridiculous Neil Adams-y.
Right. You think about like Ledger's blowing up hospitals and like very terrorist, and like Leto is just kind of like a thug, a gang member. But like this Joker he's got the hand buzzer that'll kill you. He's got balloons with gas in them. Like he's even got the flower that squirts acid. Like this is the only Joker that I kind of feel like embraces like the goofiness of like like you said, inherently stupid character, or just like an unrealistic character. So I've always loved Jack Nicholson's, and I hated that the new car smell thinking of when Ledger came out, that it was like it invalidated what Nicholson did. It's like, no, they're two different
They're separate, and it's great to have multiple takes on something like that, because it is like, there's the cartoon Joker, there is Cesar Romero's Joker, and you do have to, like, for me, I separate all of them because they're all different, like, delicious flavors. It's like when you get, I don't want oops all berries, like I want some Captain Crunch in there, like I want some different kinds of flavors.
Well, I think what's interesting about that Joker is I think Tim Burton did get one thing. He can't just be some clown from nowhere beating up Batman. You know what I'm saying? We don't really have time to establish everybody's damn origin, we just sort of get to it in that movie. So, but the Joker gets a real deal origin. If you think about it, he gets a real origin. The origin maybe Batman should have had, I don't know. But he gets an origin. We get to see exactly where he comes from and exactly who he was before. And that's important to his character. This is a thug, wild man, thinks he should be the boss. It's a crazy person's interpretation of what the boss is. Capricious and his wrath. Hey, you're my number one guy. Get out of here. You know what I mean? That sort of capriciousness that we think of as the heads of Enron or the heads of gangs. He was like, yeah, I'm going to take that to the nth degree. I'm shocking fools. This is my negotiation.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige with Sony.
Do you think it's just a charred Sony executive? He's like, no, I'm glad you're dead.
Jeff Lowe, you, my number one. They took my defenders. They took my defenders.
Bob, gun. Iger, gun.
And what's so cool about that Joker also, he does highlight the absurdity of Batman having a gadget for everything, because ironically the Joker had basically a gadget for everything. He was like, if the Coyote's gadgets from Warner Brothers cartoons worked half the time, that's what he had. He had that ability to be like Batman. Like, we could shoot at each other with a weird gun, giant weird gun from my pants. You got basically a spaceship. You know what I mean? That it was kind of lampooning how ridiculous Batman's toys are by having, I got toys too. I'm crazy. You know what I mean?
He's kind of lampooning because when you're sort of comparing them again, maybe Leto aside, because I still think I don't know what the take on Leto is in Suicide Squad, except for maybe like Joker's cool, right? Like,
well, I think it was their weird
because-
puerile attempt to 21st century him.
Yeah.
All the other Jokers are firmly in a vaudevillian. Hey, look, I got a suit on. It's purple.
well, because I think Ledger is a response to his time.
Right.
Sorry, not to acknowledge that there are politics or themes or ideas behind movies.
Get them out of here, Joe.
Oh, sorry. Far be it from me to think that Christopher Nolan would make a movie about something.
Can't wait to read my mentions later.
But I think Nicholson was too, in a way. Like, it was. This is where I sort of came at with like my dad thing. Not my dad specifically. My dad. My idea of dads. My dad's a crazy.
Your idea of dads also comes from your dad.
My dad.
Joe, you're my number.
2 guy. Why wasn't I a pilot like my brother? Because he's like a response to like the excess of the 80s.
Yes.
Like all
absolutely.
of these like young, sort of up and coming, like greed is good, like
The yuppies.
cocaine yuppie
Yeah.
wannabes. Like I think he's a response to that stuff and how ridiculous. Like, oh, you want free money? I'll give him free money. Like, I'll invalidate all your dumb corporate stuff with a ridiculous parade and balloons and I'll gas you all.
Yeah.
Well, it's one thing I do like about the Joker. He does seem to always be commenting on consumerism on some level. You know what I mean? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you want money? You want to ha ha ha? This is a big death trap because you want all this money, you know. And he's always commenting. Even the Joker, you know what I mean?
He's an artist.
He's an artist. Yep, absolutely.
Well, I think the other thing too that I really love is like Nicholson. Like a lot of times, like these people, they show up for the paycheck and they leave. Like I love them, but I kind of feel like Keaton has said more or less, I did Batman Returns because I wanted the money.
Well,
for the
he's not
investment.
really in it, so it doesn't.
Right.
He's like no
but
screen time.
Nicholson truly loved being the Joker. When they did those special edition DVDs in 2005, he was like one of the only cast members that came, like Jack Nicholson came back to do brand new interviews. And there's that story that like he was so pleased with this movie and like the Joker that he would just watch this movie on a loop when it came out.
awesome.
I'll do
Yeah.
it, and allow me to interject one thing. You know, he was so dedicated that the first person to be attached to this, when it was a real deal big boy movie, when it wasn't, you know, Batman in Outer Space for CBS or whatever they were trying to do, when Michael Uslan was walking around with the Batman rights in his left sock, basically, and nobody liked it. Well, he pulled it out and showed it to Jack Nicholson at the time. We're talking about like the 80s Lakers times, and he's showing Jack Nicholson that, and he goes, "Yeah, man." And he was attached to that, I think, from the late 70s, actually, to when it got made. From like 79 to like 89, Jack Nicholson was attached. He stayed through every iteration of them trying to get that on its feet, and then went through many. That's how dedicated. And he was the one that was making it happen. He was the star for the longest time. He was the draw. He made that happen.
And he was like most of the he was the face of the thing. Like there wasn't as much. You got to see
He's
the
top billed.
logo, and then you got to see Jack Nicholson.
Right,
And those
yeah.
were like the two big
Yeah, he was
things.
top billed.
Not a lot of Keaton's face.
Well,
Yeah.
he talked with Ledger too, and when Ledger got cast, it was basically just like, "You're gonna have a blast, man! Like this, it's such a fun character to play and figure out."
Man, what a generous take, you know what I'm saying? From
Yeah.
we get a lot of people going like, "Hey, don't you stash in my fierce," you know what I'm saying? Just like, and then just like, no,
That's a Beyonce reference.
you can have it too. This, you know, it's a legacy character. You know what I'm saying? For good or for ill, it's a legacy character. It must be handed down because it's eternal.
Right.
And him having respect for, I think that paved the way for Ledger to do what he did, because he had utter like, oh, I have basically permission to do my take. You know, from the highest of highs.
Yeah, I think if you guys are like fans of Batman '89 and want to like and don't have those DVDs, I think the special features are on YouTube. Just look up Shadows of the Bat, and it's like a documentary, and like hear Nicholson with his like exuberance talk about, I loved when kids come up and they'd be like, I'm scared of you, but like I love the Joker. Like I think he just loved. He felt like that adult who had the house that you were afraid to trick or treat,
Yeah.
so you saved it for the end of the night, and at the end you're like, all right, that was worth it. I think that's how he feels about being the Joker, which is cool.
Very, very cool. All right, we're moving on to story number 3. Netflix orders more Stranger Things and more Duffer Things. This is via Netflix and THR. Netflix has renewed Stranger Things for season 4 and signed its creators, brothers Matt and Ross Duffer, to a multiple-year film and TV deal, overall deal that sources say is worth, what's the big number that everybody's getting these deals for? 9 figures.
9!
I guess that's...
9 figures.
I guess that's just how much we're doing these deals for these days.
Wow.
That's awesome. I take the bus. While Netflix doesn't release viewing numbers, Stranger Things is believed to be one of the streamer's most watched original series. The news arrives nearly 3 months after the third season of the streamer's 1980 set sci-fi drama returned after more than a year off of the proverbial date. A return date for season 4 has not been determined. They did put up a tiny little teaser, which is, I'm guessing this. So you see the logo, and then it flashes, and then now the logo's going to be like extra creepy. And then words that no one changed the font to are going to come up on the screen.
Okay.
Right, because they're going to be in that other place, probably where they left the last one. And so it is considered to be Netflix's most popular scripted series. Again, we don't really get that data, so everyone's just kind of guessing about that. Where do you think that Stranger Things goes from here for 1 to 3 more seasons? Ooh, Billy made a face. Tell me about that face you're making, Billy.
I was one of those people after season 1. I was like, I love this. Please make this an anthology. Because if these kids keep staying doing weird things, then it just becomes like, oh, why aren't you moving? And I know that's part of one of them does, but it's like now my brain's just like, okay, this is just kind of like I thought season 3 was good. It was better than 2. 2 I was not into. I want something new in this like crazy world. Like not maybe to the quality level, but the idea behind like a Cloverfield where it's like there are different stories that all connect around kind of this one thing. Like I'm just kind of tired of following these kids. Like they're just not.
But you also don't like
anymore.
kids.
This is true.
We're people. Really.
Also, yes, but
Kids are small, undeveloped people.
The worst kind of people.
The Upside Down is such like an interesting concept, and it's like we only visit it to pull someone out of it real fast or to stop someone from opening it. But it's like, let's do a different story with different characters and like try to, I'm not saying prequelize it, but explore what is it? How did it get here? Does it predate us? Are we actually the wrong world and that's the right world? And we don't like.
And what about a story about like the basic Marvel stuff where some guy comes out with dreadlocks because he's been in the freaking underworld forever and he's like, oh snap. I'm a guy who survived this. I've been with Demogorgons.
Right.
Let me tell you something. They got a bigger plan. They don't just eat people's faces, daddy. They got a whole stage. They got a whole thing.
There's also Omnigorgons or whatever.
Like aliens. Right. There's a whole like colony.
Right.
I mean, they wrapped up season 3. It felt like a bow tie was on it. Like I feel good about walking away from them. So it's like
I think you could move forward with David Harbour and
slightly spoilerish stuff here if you haven't seen it. But yeah, I feel like and this is all, we don't know anything. They literally gave us a logo and then the logo got moldy
you
or
saw
something.
what we saw.
But my guess would be that either the series is going to continue, it's going to do stuff in Russia, or maybe we'll get to see more of the Upside Down. Both of those I'm interested in.
I'm interested in one of those for sure. Russia, like if it turns out that David Harbour, whose name I can't remember, has been in just Russia this whole time, and we just keep going and going, then it's like, okay, you guys have survived calamity after calamity. Just move to. Where are you from? Kentucky?
Yeah.
Just move to Kentucky.
Nothing ever happens.
Well, Woods porn is all you need, and you'll be fine there.
They are getting towards that age.
Yeah.
Well, you go to Kentucky and they start taking your D&D books and setting them on fire. Man, it's going to be a whole thing.
That's a different show. Yeah, I like
very
that
different show. I think there's an interesting challenge now where it's like, because I agree with you. I think as much as I like all these characters and I like some of the new folks they introduced and developed. Yeah. But I think it's done. Like I don't need to see any more of the Scoop Troop. I don't need to see really any. I don't even need to see 11 for a minute. I think come back to her because ultimately it's her story. But I want to see her away from whether or not she's gonna be in love with Finn Wolfhard because at some point you go, no, she's not because she's a kid and like that's not how.
Right. Yeah, they're not going to get married. They're children.
Like, right. You're shipping a little weird over there, buddy.
So I think because the challenge now I think is Stranger Things season 1 started as this very small scale Amblin.
Yes.
Like not clone, but like a huge just Amblin tribute. Like that was the goal. And now you've got to figure out how to blow that up. And that's hard to do. Like, there's a reason why the E.T. sequel didn't happen, because it was insane.
They have exhausted their breaking into secret bases privileges. You ain't got no more breaking into secret privileges. You ain't got that. No.
Oh, I hate to tell you, Ed, if they go to Russia, it's all secret bases.
Yes.
Secret bases all the way down, buddy.
That's what I'm saying. Unless they find a shortcut through the Upside Down and end up inside the base.
Store is a secret base there.
You know what I mean? But like
I'm
weird.
with you. Yeah, it's like I felt like there were like 12-year-olds like living out like the mission from GoldenEye in this last season, and I was just like,
dude, they were all odd jobs, so that's why they were hard to shoot.
Choppers only.
That's how they did it. Oh man, no, it makes sense.
I agree with that. I think you have now like hit. You're well past the point of credibility now. With the kids breaking into super secret satellites while they sing the theme to Neverending Story and stuff like that. Like the first one did just enough to keep the kids in peril, but like not make it crazy that they were surviving. Like it did, because there's that, what keeps the stakes in Stranger Things is the moment you think a kid's gonna get hurt. Like in season 1, when they're in, like all the soldiers have guns on them, they're in the school, and 11 blows up all their brains, and it's one of the first time you really see like extreme violence out of this girl. You're like, oh, holy crap, like these kids are in it for real. And then when you get to the point where like there are like Soviet soldiers doing like Three Stooges routines to keep the kids alive while they crawl in and out of vents, like and again, I like season 3, but I think we've hit the wall of like what you can do. So unless these kids are going to turn into like a weird group of super teens and start like Agent Cody Bankson up in
Jet Jackson.
Look, maybe maybe we follow them into high school and 11 does a full carry, you know.
You know
cool.
what? If the first episode of season 4 starts with her going and like most of the supporting cast goes, cool, interesting.
I mean, that's what kind of made Logan cool, was the fact that like almost all the X-Men were dead at that point.
Yeah.
Take it into the future. That's what I say.
I just think it's just weird how they now it's become this Rube Goldberg machine of having stuff for him to do. Like, you be up on the hill obsessing over a girl. You be down over here in the dungeon. You be down in the secret base. You be on the computer. You know?
Yeah. And it sucks because
it's a lot.
On the character end, give me 3 more seasons. On the purely, my head always splits weirdly on movies and shows. Like watching Dexter, I was always just like, just go have a family. I'm not really worried about the kill stuff anymore. I just want to see you happy. Like, and that's kind of the same way I am with Stranger Things, where I'm like, I want to see Winona. Yeah, I like that. And then the moment they're like, oh, Soviets, whoa, whoa, whoa.
But I think you're right, Joe. I think that's where sometimes these shows fall apart. And using Dexter, it's like, spoiler, I guess, when they killed Rita and that family dynamic was taken away, it's like, well, a big part of my interest in the show is taken away, because seeing Dexter become more human was what I liked about it, and now like that's gone. And then that show just went
like I don't need to see Will get screwed up by a thing again. Like
he still hasn't gotten his like stand over the Demogorgon bloody fist moment.
No,
you know, he's never gonna get it.
He
it
needs
seems
therapy, is what he needs. Like just a lot of therapy.
And I'd watch just that show.
But I mean,
Degrassi, and then occasionally like 11's, and then occasionally 11's like, I don't want it to get up and change the channel, and she just does it with her brain.
That's the thing too. It's like that's the thing. Like season 3, I really liked, but there were moments where they were pushing like this. Will has this like Arrested Development. Everyone's moving on, but he missed this chunk of time of being a kid because he's all screwed up. And they just never, like you said, I was waiting for that moment where like Will was going to get his revenge, and it's like, no, he's just like the whiny bitch of the group. Like that's it. It's like, shut up, Will.
Yeah, we got to do this song montage.
Well, dude, somewhere out there,
and I liked Susie, but
somewhere out there, there's a Will Byers fan and an Incredible Hulk fan, and they just cried all last year. He never got the karate chop Thanos. This is bullcrap, man. We're never doing this again.
As much as I really love all of the characters, and Winona Ryder is doing the work of her career. I'm biased because I love Winona Ryder and have loved her from the moment I first saw her.
Yeah, you and Beetlejuice. What are you talking about? Well, yeah.
Throw on that wedding dress and walking you to the fireplace, baby.
She's a great mom. She shows a lot of the care that you need to have, and like just the frazzledness of like, my kid is going through the most interesting thing mankind has ever seen. Sorry if I can't cope.
Yeah.
You know She's the only logical one that's like, F this, we are moving.
Yeah.
Like, that's what every single person should be doing.
And they do when they do character stuff well, they hit out, like the fact that I still cared about Sean Astin this season speaks volumes. I mean, of course, as him as an actor, but just how they were able to like place that puzzle piece correctly in the puzzle that is a full script. But I think these characters, except maybe David Harbour and how are you going to get out of Moscow, buddy? I'm done. Like I'm good with that U-Haul truck moving to Toledo or wherever it was.
You know what? I'd be fine with a big fat movie. I'd be fine with a big fat movie.
Oh, that's what they're doing.
The kids walk through, snatch them up out of there. They throw some, hey, Demogorgons, take these grenades for them sheets. You know, whatever. It's like boom, boom, boom.
That's what the development deal is just more Stranger Things stuff. A movie about the what episode 11 from season 2, like all that stuff.
The Lost Kids.
I sincerely doubt they're going to do that. I personally think, and it's one of the things we prognosticate and we're always wrong, so a bunch of grains of salt, meow.
But aren't we fun while we're not doing it correctly?
Think about being in, again, the Duffer business. They're not in the Stranger Things business, baby. They're in the Duffer business. Because let's say the Duffers do some crap next, and then a kind of a crap movie, and then the next Stranger Things comes out of them. That 9 figures is worth it because now you got all. And the reason why we're not getting metrics is the only thing Netflix cares about. We've talked about this several times. What makes people stay on the thing? Watch time. It's all they care about. They count it, ones and zeros, watch time all day. Stranger Things, turn that off. I dare you. I double dare you. Turn Stranger Things off. It just rolls, and I just watch it.
Well, that's one of their few ones that has like entered the physical realm as well. Like if the streaming is the upside down, like Stranger Things is it's your Funkos, it's actually shirts. Like
it's crossed over.
I don't think there are oranges the new black Funkos. Like I might be wrong. If there are, there shouldn't be. That's weird.
There's a Funko of everything.
There should not be Funkos of Orange is the New Black. Don't look that up, Brad. I don't want to live in a world where there are.
They're crossing the revenue streams.
But like that's a show because
there are so many.
Here's Piper after she just got her ass beat Funko. Yay, thanks. We all needed those.
Branded Piper.
Lord. But because they're doing the thing now, because traditionally 3 seasons, that's when everyone's like, we'd like raises now, so 3 and done. If your show's gonna cross that mark, I think they're just gonna they're gonna Walking Dead it. They're gonna Fear the Stranger Things, Journey with the Stranger Things, Stranger Things 20 years later.
The next generation.
Yeah.
Just like
the new class.
A full season just set in that mall.
Yep. We're eventually gonna see like the mall fall apart and now everyone's just at Amazon.
Isn't that mall pretty beat up after the last one? That's the other thing too. It's like we never really big things happen in Hawkins. We never really hear people talk much about oh hey, the mall just got destroyed.
I think that's kind of weird. That's a Sunnydale problem. I kind of wave those away. Where it's like people live in their own realities, and if they don't want to think about how many weird things happen in their town, they're just not gonna.
Well, see, that's where I think they've hit their wall unless they do a reset on what they're focusing on. Because with Stranger Things 1. It also flirted with those fun ideas of just enough things happened at that weather satellite company in Alaska for us to still be talking about it 30 years later.
Right.
Illuminati, Owl's Bohemian Grove. But now at this point, it's like, oh yeah, a bunch of people saw a demon thing explode a mall. You've now hit your limit of playing with that fun idea of what's actually happening with conspiracy theories and stuff like that.
That is around season 3 was when everyone in Sunnydale was like, yeah, we always knew this stuff was there. We're just happy that we didn't all die. All right.
Good housing market.
Hey man, you can't beat this rent. Beelzebubs and ghouls and all types of stuff, but boy, this rent is low as hell, man. I don't gotta eat canned ravioli no more, man.
You call it the apocalypse, I call it rent control, man.
Move there with your least favorite kid. All right, you guys. That has been SJU for today. We will see you all tomorrow morning. Bye.